Good morning. This is a short training session for managers as you are beginning the process of doing your UKG Ready process with your employees. So when you are first set up in UKG Ready, you are given a checklist to complete. And that checklist is the first time you enter the system, you're going to need to complete a checklist. That's in the employee training session. For some reason, it is not showing up for this lovely employee that we are pretending to be. So you would access that, as you saw on the screen, by going to My Mailbox up here in the top right corner. And then there would be a third tab. So right now we're on My To-Do items, then My Notifications, and there'll be a third one right here, which says Open Checklist. So that is the process whereby you would go through that. Okay, so as we go back to this home screen, as you log into your system for the first time, there's a couple of things to note. This is a standard dashboard setup. You are very welcome to modify that if you would like to. You just click on Enable Edit Mode and reformat how it looks. I want to go over how it's formatted for you because this is a standard setup for managers. And again, you can reorganize this and rearrange it to your heart's content based on what you're going to use. The first thing we're going to look at is these little bubbles. These are quick links to make your life a little easier. The first one allows you to access employee information, to reset an employee's password, or to unlock their account. This allows you, My Team Timekeeping allows you to look at any timesheets that are pending approval, all the current timesheets, all timesheets by pay period, any time off requests that have been submitted that you need to review, and all time off requests for all of your employees. Under reports, you can look at a variety of reports that are available to you. And then under My Information, you can view your profile, update your password, and in the future, if you ever need to be away during a payroll process and you want to delegate another manager to be responsible for approving your employees' time, you can designate that to someone else. Make sure that the person you designate it to has been set up as a manager here at the conference level. And if you want someone else to be set up as a manager, you just need to notify us and we can make that happen. You can view your time and you can view company information. You can look at the company directory, you can view company documents, and you can view company announcements. Under company documents, you can find our current employee handbook and instructions for doing the child protection training and background screening process. Under the announcements section, we do not currently have any announcements, but if there was one, you would see that here. And finally, under company directory, you can see a list of all the employees in the conference and their employee email address if they have one. All right, we are going to go back to our home tab here. And again, you just press the little link up here where our logo is to get back to your home tab. Now we're going to scroll down the page a little bit. This first section is going to show you your timesheet tasks. You can see there are 2 timesheet change requests and 1 timesheet that has not been submitted for approval. Timesheets that are not submitted should not be submitted until the time period, the timesheet time clock period has ended. If you submit it in advance, the employee will not be able to submit any more time entries. So you want to make sure that this timesheet approval is not submitted until the pay period is over. The timesheet change requests, this is a quick link and it shows you what those timesheet change requests are. As you can see here, Frank D. Filbert is the manager. That's who we're impersonating today. And his employee, Hazel D. Nutt, has submitted a request for a timesheet entry. This timesheet entry shows 8:51 a.m. to 7, it's a correction. So their initial request was for 8:51 and they want to change it to 7:31. And as we look at this, you can click on comment and she says, forgot to punch in at the correct time. You can open the timesheet and that takes you directly to her current timesheet so you can see what you're actually seeing. And in this case, it's showing you the current time entry. Now, if we go back to our home screen, you can get to it through these timesheet change requests, or you can go up here to this little bell and you can also see them in your My To-Do items. So as we look at this one, we're going to say, okay, yep, we're going to go ahead and approve of that timesheet request. No comment necessary unless you want to do one. Now I want to go back and open the timesheet again. So let's click on Open Timesheet. As we scroll down to that day, you can see here that we've made a correction to 7:31. And this little E means that it's been modified by employee request. So that is easy enough to understand. You can also click on the comments to see what the comments were. Now, let's go back into our time sheet information, this to-do list for you. In this case, we're going to see here that she had forgotten to do any clocking on November the 4th, apparently. So she submitted a request for 7:30 in the morning clock in and 1:04 p.m. for clocking out. The total number of hours is 5.57, and it's showing you that they were clocking in and out of their administrative assistant job. Now, if you want to see what the comment is, again, you click on comment, and then you again can open the timesheet to see what day that was. And as you can see here, there was nothing on November the 4th. So you can go ahead and approve or reject of that time. This last button is view workflow. This is going to show you how the notifications are coming. So for example, in this case, Hazelnut generated a notification that came to you as the manager. Once you reject or approve of it, it's going to show you how that communication is going to be sent out and to whom. When you approve of a timesheet request, it's going to send a notification to the employee that it has been approved. So we're going to go ahead and approve of that. And now all of our to-do items for today are done. The other thing that happens is you receive notifications under the My Notifications tab. And this is an email that is received. It could be a notification about timesheet requests. It could be a notification about a variety of things. Okay, so as you scroll through here, you'll be able to see a list of all your team members here in the middle. As of right now, we can see that Frank Filbert is currently not clocked in, and that Hazel D. Nutt normally would show up here. I don't know why she isn't. It would show you that she is clocked in right now. So if we click on these three buttons, it gives us some options. We can click on profile, we can go to her time off, or we can go to time sheet. So let's go take a look at her profile. As the manager, you can see the information related to this employee. So you can see her name, you can see who her supervisors are, you can see what her current accruals are, you can see her personal information, which gives you her phone number, her job information, and any dates that are applicable to her role. For example, what her date of birth is, if she's ever been rehired, what their retired date is, if this is someone who had retired and came back, what their organizational hire date is, all of those good things. Under HR, you're able to see anything that's ever been submitted as an HR action or a pending HR action request. In this case, we had done a test disciplinary incident of Hazel D. Nutt. So if I click on this button right here, I'm going to be able to view those actions. And you can see that Hazel D. Nutt stole on August 29, 2024. She took filberts from the kitchen. Bad Hazel. So as you scroll through this, you can see that it was resolved through verbal warning. We told her to stop stealing nuts, and it tells you who made those comments and who processed that. So if you go back here, you can view the employee profile. And then finally, you have the option of adding schedules for employees. At this point, we are not currently using that, but if a local entity wanted to set up standard schedules, we could absolutely set those up for you and assign them to employees. Now, you do have the option to edit what you view for your employees as well. So if this information does not make sense to you in the way that it's organized, you can absolutely reorganize them in a different format. And that is the employee profile information. As we continue scrolling down here, you can also get a quick look at your mailbox if there was anything in here. Any company announcements would also display here. Finally, there is a quick links here on the left. All of this information is available to you as an aside in this 3 bars up here. That's called your hamburger menu. This gives you access to a lot of other information that is not in those quick links in the circles at the very top. So you're able to do a lot of different things through this process. You're able to do HR actions, you're able to look at your personal information, you're able to look at your employees and their information. You can do a whole lot of things. Now, if I wanted to go in and look at my profile, this is what I can see. I can see my compensation, my personal information, all of that good stuff. Now, let's just say I want to make a change to my personal information because I need to correct my my tax withholdings. So if I go down here to HR and I go to HR actions, it doesn't let me do it through here. You should be able to modify your own information here. So we will figure that out. But let's say you want to terminate an employee, you absolutely could do that through this process right here. In this case, we are not going to do that because we want that to be something that you do only after talking with us. And that is basically what you need to know. Now, let's say it's coming to the end of the time period. We're going to go ahead and go into my team timekeeping, and we're going to click on timesheets pending approval. We are going to change the date range. We're going to save this year to date so we can see all the timesheets. In this case, there is nothing pending approval. So let's discard those changes, and we're going to look at this not submitted. So this is for Hazel D. Nutt. It's the current time period, and it's showing you that it's pending approval because we're still in the middle of the pay period. If you get to the end of the pay period, and let's say Hazel only works Monday through Friday, she finishes her work on the 14th, you happen to be reviewing time on the 15th, you could go ahead and submit this timesheet. Once you submit it, that tells us that it's been reviewed and it's ready for us to process through payroll. From an employee's perspective, I want to show you what it looks like for them. So we're actually going to impersonate Hazel. So as I pull up her information here, we are going to log in as her so you can see how the employee actually deals with change requests. So this is what the employee sees on their profile, and there is a whole video about what the employee is able to do. Looking at the employee's time, we're going to go to her current timesheet. Now, the employee has total access to add or change time on their profile. So let's say Hazel, for whatever reason, did not work in Sunday, Saturday, or Friday, but she did work on Thursday, October 31. What we're going to do, see how it's all grayed out. The employees are not able to add, change, or modify anything that's gray. So in order to do a change, they have to come up here on the right-hand side and click on change request. That's going to give them options for what kind of change request. There's add a punch in, add a punch out, add an entire day. That's a time entry. They can modify a cost center, modify their punch in or punch out, modify their time off. So we're going to add a time entry for her, and we're going to add it for October 31. And we're going to say that she starts working at 7:29 a.m. And that day she worked until 4:30 p.m. So that is 12 plus 4, 1,600 hours because we are now in military time. And then she's going to say, sorry, UKG was giving me trouble. Thanks. And we're going to submit those changes. Now, since Hazel has submitted that change, she is unable to see that change until you approve of that change as her manager. So we're going to switch back over to Frank Filbert, and we're going to refresh his screen. And as we refresh that, we now see a new timesheet change request. We're going to click on that, and we're going to see here that Hazel D. Nutt has requested a timesheet change, and you can see exactly what we just did a few minutes ago. She clocked in at 7:29. She clocked out at 1,600 hours for the administrative assistant job. If you want to check and see if she wrote a comment, you can say, sorry, UKG was giving me trouble, thanks. You can open the timesheet to see what day she's talking about. So in this case, it's Thursday, October 31. Remember, until you approve of it, it doesn't actually put it on there. So we're going to go back into our bell up here in the top right corner, and we're going to click on My To-Do Items, and we're going to select the timesheet change request that Hazel submitted. We're going to go ahead and accept that request. So we're going to go approve, and thanks for making that correction. Please let me know sooner in the future if you have trouble accessing UKG so we can troubleshoot with you. Okay, just as an example of how you might respond to something like that. We're going to go ahead and submit approve. Now, if we go back into Hazelnut, what happens? We're going to refresh her profile, and you can see here that she has 6 notifications. So we're going to click on that. In hers, there's no to-do items or checklists. What she has is notifications. So we're going to click on notifications, and right here is the most recent notification telling you that her time entry was approved with the following comment. Thanks for making that correction, blah, blah, blah. So it is an immediate process. Now, if I am Hazel, I'm going to click on my current timesheet and I'm looking for October 31 to see that it's in here. And as you can see, it has shown up. So that is how you can review and modify time for your employees. As you have questions about using the system, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are here to help. And we are thankful for you and for all of your hard work in ensuring that our employees are being paid correctly and in a timely manner. Have a great day.